In this installment, this will be the 2022 Buffalo Bills team preview, getting you guys ready for your fantasy football drafts, the top options you need to be focused on this specific team. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Buffalo Bills team preview. Like I said before, the guys we're going to key on this specific team. Some guys are going to be obvious, but we're going to deep dive into this roster for your fantasy football drafts and find you the best prospects, maybe even some value at some of these positions, okay? Now, before we deep dive into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Also, don't forget about the TikTok. Follow me on there at Chef_D91 as well. And don't forget about the Patreon. If you want more DFS help and more betting advice, I'll definitely get back to you. And obviously, hit me up on DMs on Instagram or Twitter as well. And we'll get you put into the Patreon. All those links will be down below. All right, now first up on the list will be Josh Allen. None other than Josh Allen. Man, this guy has dominated the past two seasons. Currently ADP 29.7 right now, which is round 3, and he's going QB number 1. You're getting a value on this particular player. As long as he stays healthy, you're getting a great talent at the QB position in round 3. So in underdog, you can take full advantage of that. Obviously, mom and pop leagues, it might vary just a little bit, but in 2020, you saw number 1 overall finish with 25.4 fantasy points per game, and in 2021, 24.6 fantasy points per game. We saw great numbers in the rushing department. It increased. Obviously, the extra game helped, but this was an increase of over 300 yards. So it's not just a one game. It was a game-by-game basis where Josh Allen was being taking control of the whole game and being very, very aggressive. We saw, obviously, passes down the field, so we saw more attempts as well. As you can see, it's not only just that one game. If you look at 645 to 572, that's just not one game. That's like about 3 to 4 games of production increase what we saw from Josh Allen from 2020 to 2021. So right now you're getting an absolute value on this all-star of a talent. And I'm done hating on this man, okay? Josh Allen, he deserves it. He's a Konami code quarterback, so you get the throwing ability with a great wide receiver core, and you get the rushing ability plus the red zone work. So Josh Allen, hands down, should be your number 1 option when you're going to look at the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, we got Stefan Diggs. We're going to get to him very soon. But where you're getting Josh Allen right now is a total value for what he can do. All right. Number 2 on our list will be Stefan Diggs. Now, we're looking at the Buffalo Bills. This is the highest priced Buffalo Bill that we're going to be looking at. Stefan Diggs, tons of talent, elite wide receiver. He finished wide receiver 7 on some sites, wide receiver 8, and wide receiver 9. He finished in that range, depending if you were in ESPN or Underdog Fantasy. He finished in that range. But what we saw from him was just a little bit of a decrease in targets, receptions, receiving yards, yards per reception. But what balanced out was he finally got his first time ever getting 10 touchdowns in a season. So he was very middling throughout the whole season here. This lines up for a big breakout year, I think, for Stefan Diggs. We're going to be bullish on Stefan Diggs for this year. He finished number 9, as you can see, 16.8 fantasy points per game in 2020. He stole the show. Obviously, that was his first season with the Buffalo Bills, and obviously they were going to feed the guy that they just paid, okay? So that was 166 targets, 127 receptions, 1,500 receiving yards, and almost 1,700 air yards, 8 TDs. Outstanding performance. Finished number 3. So he went from number 3 to number 9 in this 3rd season with the Buffalo Bills. I think we're going to reap a great benefit from where we're getting him You got to take him in the first round. In that 1 to 2 range turnaround, that's where Stefan Diggs is going right now, depending what type of draft you're in. I know that a lot of guys are just leaning towards the running back, but I think that this year wide receivers are going to dominate, especially higher rated wide receivers, and Stefan Diggs is going to be one of those guys. He's going to be with those guys in that conversation of Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. So I'm going to put the decline of 2021 aside, and I think he's going to take it to another level this year, especially with Emmanuel Sanders gone. Stefan Diggs just solidifies as that number one. Gabe Davis, who we'll talk about very soon, is going to be that number 2 guy, and then Jameson Crowder. But I love Stefan Diggs right now at his current ADP. Definitely worth the price. Better than what these up and down type of options at the running back position, even in round 1. So go get you Stefan Diggs. Number 3 on our list. I know we're gonna get to the other wide receivers, but I definitely have to talk about one of my sleeper tight end options for this year in fantasy football, and that is Dawson Knox. Went tight end 11 last year. He finished great, mainly because of his TD production that he provided for this offense. Plus, this offense is totally stacked. It's one of the best offenses in the National Football League. Dawson Knox is an absolute steal. Current ADP is at 101, round 9, tight end 9. He's going currently right now, and that is an absolute steal. Okay, you can definitely wait on tight end this year. You do not have to pay for Kyle Pitts. You don't have to pay up for Mark Andrews. Obviously, you love Travis Kelce, but you don't have to sacrifice that type of draft capital to get a very productive tight end. All right. Many years I've waited on tight end and it has paid off. You need to build and solidify your running back, wide receiver, and quarterback positions, and you can just fill in with a very solid tight end and be just fine. Dawson Knox has the upside to be a top 10 and even top 5 tight end this season. If we're looking at all the metrics, this is the reason why I love Dawson Knox this year. He finished top 10 in so many categories. If we're just looking at the numbers, his opportunity, he was number 4 in snap share. Okay, so you want your guy on the field. He was number 8 in routes run. Okay, that it goes with the snap share and the opportunity. And if you're looking at route participation, he was 12th. Okay, so during passing plays, is your tight end running routes? He was top 12 in the whole NFL out of all tight ends, and this is someone that went super late last year. There's even more metrics with opportunity. He was number 5 in deep targets. He was number 4 in red zone targets. That's why he finished with 9 touchdowns last season. If we're looking at productivity, he finished 2nd overall in total TDs at 9. Okay, number 9 in fantasy points per game. If we're looking at efficiency, his target accuracy was number 4. Yards per target was number 8. Catchable target rate, obviously that goes with Dawson Knox and the quarterback. All right, your tight end has to get open, and then Josh Allen has to throw a catchable ball, and he did that. Okay, efficiency, another key metric. Target premium, number 1 overall. Okay, target separation, which means him getting open. QB rating per target, everything is off the charts. Plus, there leaves more upside for this season. I think he's going to increase in his targets per game, increase in targets period, and receptions. So we saw in 2020, he was definitely splitting some work at that tight end position. 2021, they fully trusted him, even with Gabe Davis, even with Cole Beasley, even with Emmanuel Sanders. He stepped through with 71 targets and 49 receptions, 587 yards, and he was a key component in that red zone, right? So we're looking at the Buffalo Bills team that is going to put up points. This is going to be one of the main guys, okay? Not only Stefan Diggs, not only that they're going to run the ball in the red zone, Dawson Knox is that big body option that he trusts in the red zone, and I love him at his current ADP. Sleeper tight end right here in Dawson Knox. Go get him. Next on our list will be Gabriel Davis. Right now, he is going at ADP 50 overall, round 5, wide receiver 24. He has skyrocketed in ADP on all sites across the board. He finished as wide receiver 58 last season. Now, the big jump in the hype on Gabe Davis for this season, obviously, he is a Bills wide receiver in this great offense, but the departure of Cole Beasley, who was one of the guys that was getting a lot of targets, and Emmanuel Sanders. So those two guys are gone. Gabe Davis is now stepping into a position where he is the number 2 wide receiver on this offense, and people are going crazy. Now, it is validated. We saw what he did in that last playoff game going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, if you're looking at these numbers, look at it on the left-hand side right here. Gabe Davis, 8 receptions, 201 yards, 4 TDs. He had a total breakout. So from that game on, we had the offseason. People have been just waiting to hop all over Gabe Davis, and he has shot up to round 5 in ADP at the wide receiver position. Like I said, it is validated because he is the number 2 wide receiver. The question is he worth it with all the other guys going around him? I think so, okay? So in the limited amount of targets Gabe Davis was provided last season, if we're looking at this, he was number 6 on the list in 2021 of pass catchers, okay? That's wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs, okay? He was number 6. 30 completions, 46 targets, only at 8% target share, but it was valuable target share. Where every time we saw him on the field, he was coming up with a big, huge touchdown catch, and key moments he was coming out with huge receptions. So we saw the upside of Gabe Davis, who is a 4th round pick. So a lot of people didn't see this coming, but he has emerged as the number 2 wide receiver in this offense. I think it is 100% fine that we're going for him in that. If you want to take a jump at him in round 4, depends what other wide receivers are going around him. There's a lot of question marks with the wide receiver position in that 4 or 5 range. So Gabe Davis is pretty solidified in this Buffalo Bills offense. The upside he provides in that red zone area as well, even in limited snaps. Like I said, he only had 46 targets and had 6 touchdowns. He's gonna probably reach to around 150 and above targets this season. Gabe Davis is going to see, so that touchdown number could go super high. Plus we could see another 1,000-yard season for him. So I'm loving Gabe Davis at his current price, and that's why he's going to continue to shoot up on draft boards. So you're going to have to pay a premium, but he is fully worth it. Okay, go get you Gabe Davis as well. Next up on our list will be the running back position for the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be very key for this season, okay? We have 2 guys, all right? We got Devin Singletary, where we know him. We become accustomed to him. He had a little bit of a breakout season last year. Career highs, if we're looking at in 2021, 188 attempts, 870 rushing yards, 4.6 yards per carry, 40 receptions, 228 receiving yards, and 8 TDs. He finished number 24 with 11.6 fantasy points per game. Okay, so that was a positive. Another guy we're going to look at is going to be James Cook, the rookie running back that they got from Georgia, the 3rd running back off the boards. Now, what do we keep seeing year after year with Buffalo Bills? All right, they still do not seem to think that they answered their running back problems. Okay, year after year, Devin Singletary is the guy, but he doesn't produce. And we finally saw just some glimpses this past season, and it still wasn't enough. What do the Buffalo Bills do yet again? They go ahead and draft another running back with high draft capital. In the 2nd round, the 3rd running back off the board, and we're going to have to go with the younger guy. I told you we always choose the younger guy with higher upside. James Cook is that guy. If we're looking at ADP right now, 107 overall, and we have Devin Singletary right there ahead of him at 106. We have these two guys right next to each other. Who do we choose? We choose the younger guy. We're going to take James Cook, and we can be even more bullish on James Cook. He was in a very talented backfield in Georgia with the likes of DeAndre Swift, Zamir White. He was behind a ton of high and exceptional running backs in Georgia. James Cook was. This is the brother of Dalvin Cook, so we know he has that type of pedigree. He has the receiving ability. We saw all his highlights in his production leading up to the national championship game. James Cook is very, very explosive, and this is a guy I think can excel in this offense. Maybe the Buffalo Bills have finally found their running back. They've been waiting year after year. They failed on Zach Moss. Zach Moss has fallen out into behind as the number 3 option now in this offense. And even Zach Moss, when he first came into the league, had some bright spots and outplayed Devin Singletary. So now they're done with Zach Moss. Obviously, they're questioning Devin Singletary, and James Cook comes in as the new toy in Buffalo. He will be used. He will emerge as the number 1 running back, and I think you're getting him at an absolute steal in that round 10, round 11 range here that we're looking at with his current ADP. James Cook is definitely someone to look for later in your drafts and fade Devin Singletary. Last but not least, on our team preview of the Buffalo Bills will be Jameson Crowder. Now here, I think this is another sleeper option we have here, another value on this very productive Buffalo Bills team here. Obviously, we love Dawson Knox. I just spoke about James Cook at that running back position. Now, another wide receiver we can look at with high upside is going to be Jameson Crowder. And look at it. Wouldn't you imagine the player he's best comparable to is the guy he's replacing in Cole Beasley? Jameson Crowder comes in from the New York Jets, who was a very reliable wide receiver for Zach Wilson, for Joe Flacco, and guys like that in the past couple seasons on that team. He comes into a great position here with the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. And Josh Allen loves to target his slot receiver. If we're looking at NFL Savant, in last year's numbers, Cole Beasley outperformed Emmanuel Sanders hands down. Sanders had 45 completions, 78 targets, and Cole Beasley finished the season with 77 completions, 104 targets, 18% target share. Jameson Crowder is exactly the same as Cole Beasley, maybe even better than Cole Beasley. He just happened to be on a poor team with the New York Jets. Team that it is improving, but Crowder is in a better situation now with Buffalo. So this is a great value. Current ADP is 129 overall. That is round 11 in wide receiver 63. Jameson Crowder is a huge value in your drafts in 2022. Definitely go get him. If we're just giving him the Cole Beasley touches, even if he gets just a little bit less than that, obviously Gabe Davis is going to step up as well. But you're getting a slot receiver in PPR leagues that can definitely break out this year and have, obviously we're not looking at the touchdowns, it's going to have to be PPR production. So definitely focus and key on Jameson Crowder late in drafts in PPR leagues. Do not try to think you're going to find a gem in him in regular leagues. Crowder is going to be a perfect fit and a sleeper for PPR, right? So that is going to be the last guy we're going to look into, and that's Jamison Crowder. So we went through Josh Allen, Stefan Diggs, Dawson Knox, Gabe Davis, James Crowder, Singletary, and James Cook. We've completed the Buffalo Bills team preview. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageJetsD, and I'll be back with another video very soon. All right, peace out.